Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this Asteroid Fight Club meeting. I am your planetary defense commander, Star-Lord New Thor 7, and today we are going to be speculating on possible landfall with monster record-breaking Hurricane Dorian. Ultimately, if you're in Florida or any of the areas that might be affected, it is up to you to make your own decision, do your own due diligence. But me, Cranky Weather Guy, and the whole weather Twitter team and the weather team are going to do what we can to help you. Now, I have been warning of record-breaking hurricanes in September since April, based off of a Neptune alignment that I believe was also associated with the record-breaking storm that happened in March over Nebraska. And so I've been working towards this since then, and then pretty much for the 55 hours up to I passed out praying, I had been staring at Dorian. And so Dorian has been headed west. Dorian has completely been headed west. And so I freaked out. And at this point, I don't know if it was my intuition telling me something or if I just went crazy and freaked out when I thought Dorian was just going to continue west and make landfall in Fort Lauderdale. Right now, none of the models support that. Cranky doesn't support that. Nobody supports that. And 30 minutes after I said it, I was like, whoa, that sounds crazy. And I put up a thing on my video saying I just need a lot of sleep. But at this point, I'd like to remind people, there's no singular expert on hurricanes. I have my weaknesses. I'm not good at the slow, stop, stall, turn. That always drives me crazy. And so it's one of the reasons Crank and I make a good team, is he's really good at it. And he believes at some point it is going to turn and skirt the coast, although he's shown signs that it could make landfall on Florida. And so what I'm saying, though, is that everybody in Florida, even the southest tip, needs to be prepared for variables and surprises that nobody foresaw. And that until this thing stops and goes another direction than west, I gotta say, I believe that Miami and Fort Lauderdale are still in play. And as your planetary defense commander who likes to play it safe, until this thing turns, I don't think anybody on the coast is safe. But I think the chances of that are low, but 2019 is so crazy. Who knows, man? Dan Satterfield, astounding reports from the SFMR and the drop Sundays this evening. Dorian down to 910 millibars of pressure, winds at 185 miles per hour. You had an unbelievable gust of 220 miles per hour. It's a record for this close to the coast. Gilbert dropped to 888 millibars on 8th of September, 1988. Cranky Weather Guy. Besides, we're going to possibly be dealing with the island-induced wobbles when the cyclone is near central Grand Bahama, which has always been a key benchmark moment for down the stream trajectory. I think we can do better. And that's what we strive to do. Get better every day. And prayers out to the Bahamas. They have taken a direct strike. And the next island is next. Cranky Weather Guy, the problem with analyzing the cyclone anew beyond what has already been offered is that it is moving excruciatingly slow, and not much evolution of tagged important entities has yet occurred to do more than just repeat oneself. Maybe later tonight we can figure something out. Dorian bumped up over the finally crossing Abaco. Next question. Are we now into the legitimate latitude gain sweep, or does that recorrect west anew? A hallmark of this cyclone so far. And we are still worried. Yes. Model error from yesterday, same gap as the left side versus current NHC. And so, talking about the models haven't done very well. And that was like, I freaked out last night because I have just like, Dorian has pretty much gone in a straight line west since I've been watching it. And so that is why, until it turns, I don't think anyone in this area should be paying attention like they are out of danger. Most models have it hugging the coast, Dorian in the west side of the cone, nightmare fuel, and if you awake to this possibility tomorrow morning, a whole lot of people might be scrambling at once. And let me say now that for pretty much the majority of everyone on the West Coast, almost even like through this line, I would recommend going to hang out with friends in West Florida to play it safe. A hallmark of Asteroid Fight Club is survival. Obviously, we are praying and hoping for a hard turn that goes out to sea, but there's no reason to expect that right now, especially with Dorian's penchant to just keep traveling west. Despite the impression given by the main Euro run, stay alert, Florida. If you push the button here, hey, or choose switch members from the menu, you can see the 51 different solutions for background I chose. And I want to say again, Twitter is the best place for absolute up-to-the-minute weather updates. The whole weather Twitter team is fantastic. But even if you get the core out to shore here, you're going to get a lot of heavy flooding. The closer inland it becomes, the more damaging impacts it has with straight line winds, heavy flooding, heavy rain. And I really don't like the fact that it's just been going west. In the last 24 hours, Hurricane Dorian intensified from 130 knots to 160 knots. In fact, it did this in under 9 hours. Rapid intensification is impressive enough, but become extremely rare for high initial intensities from 130 knots. It's unprecedented in the Atlantic. And me in April, after the March Neptune inferior opposition storm devastated Nebraska and Midwest, watch out for record-breaking hurricane in September with all the gas giants on the same side and the Sun and Neptune opposition on the 10th of this month. And so there are a lot of variables at play, and our modeling of hurricanes, I believe, is incomplete. The scary fact is the HMON continues the westward shift for Dorian of Wednesday morning, and I believe it brings it in to a landfall. And the one thing that I have been unhappy with the modeling, all the modeling has been inferior as far as projecting the intensity of the hurricane. Granted, intensity projection and prediction is hard, but like the hurricane could be at like 920 and then the models will print it and say it's like 945. So there's no way they should be getting it that wrong. Cranky. It continues to have bad intentions written all over it as flow over Florida has yet to stop retreating, thus keeping the coastal advance ongoing. I have no new observations. I'm waiting out the day. Evolution prior analysis, many features cited as worth watching. And I'll leave Cranky's blog, but mainly today's been live tweeting. So if you want the best of his stuff live, you got to get on Twitter. And he's at CrankyWX guy. And I'm at New Thor. But in his projection, you know, if you draw this line up, you know, that puts everybody within here in play for landfall. And I would say, you know, it can be, I mean, I would say anything like that could happen. And at this point, in a science fiction type of scenario, until this thing stops going west, I know that everybody's had a fear that it would just continue to travel west and just kind of hop over Florida, which I think would be an absolute worst case scenario. Although there are multiple worst case scenarios, which is why I recommend pretty much anyone here, if you can, you know, go hang out with friends, family, go to a park, because there are a lot of things that can happen, and most of them are very dangerous. You're going to have lots of power outages. You're going to have infrastructure problems. And I would like to make a call to everyone in Florida to work together as a team, because I know that there are a lot of poor people, there are a lot of elderly who will be in the way of harm's way and don't have many options. And so now would be a great time for people to put their heads together and try and figure out ways that we can relocate people along the coast and possibly even more inside central if this breaks all projections. Here I'm just showing you the basic. Here's the NAM on the Tuesday the 3rd. There's the Euro, and there's the GFS. But let's take it to here. Right now, we know that the storm is at sustained winds of 180 miles per hour. The NAM says 88. The GFS says 88. The Euro says 96. And the NAM says 143. So none of them are anywhere even close to the exact time we're dealing with now, which is unacceptable. The Euro has it scraping up the coast. And see, it has it at 984. There's no way it's dropping to 984 in that amount of time. So this would be on Wednesday. And it takes the core offshore. Then you have the JMA, which keeps the core offshore, and most of them just drag it up the coast. And then, but it continues to stay extremely strong. And so this will be a storm that Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, all the New England area, including New York, and will probably be dealing with some capacities. This will be a major hurricane probably the whole way, or Cat 2. The Icon brings it in pretty dang close and then strafes it up the coast, which would, that is still going to bring 10 to 20 inches of rain, even if it doesn't make landfall. The NavGem pretty much brings it up the coast without making landfall. The Gem pretty much makes landfall somewhere near the middle of Florida. There you go. And then brings it up the coast. The GF Legacy keeps it offshore. And the GFS also keeps it offshore. But either way, it's going to bring major impacts. And that there is a lot most people don't know, including myself, that we will be watching this storm and giving you the best information we can. But everybody along the coast, I would be on your P's and Q's and think about evacuating depending on what this thing does. But no matter what, I'm going to be watching this like a hawk, because this thing is not, it's literally just going like sweep the whole time, just straight west. And until it shows signs of changing direction, Daytona Beach, Miami, or, please pay attention. Even though everybody's predicting it to turn, worst case scenario is it just doesn't turn. I don't know if it was my Jedi Sense last night, me going crazy, or whatever it is. But I want to thank you guys for putting up with me. I want to thank the whole Weather Twitter team. And I got 3 days left of my fundraiser. So if you want to say thanks and contribute to all the hard work I've done, I've been working on this nonstop. I've pretty much put in 100 hours this week. I got a address. I love cards. When you send me cards in the mail, T. Lewison, 5430 Birdwood Road, 416, Houston, Texas, 77096. I got a PayPal, a Venmo, a Cash App, a Patron, whatever works best for you. I'd like to thank everybody in Asteroid Fight Club who supported me with contributions, donations, cards, or prayers. And special thanks to Robert. Yes, we are praying for Florida. Juha, Michael, Tamisha, Jeff, Spencer, Ben, Susan, Mauricio, and Marlita. And it's through y'all's contributions and donations I'm able to bring you guys the truth without any political bullshit or agendas from my perspective. And we only got $225 to go before the 3rd. Yeah, this is how I do it every month. It's like a game show. It's a weird model, but it's exciting. So if you can contribute and donate, I would really appreciate it, because I do my best to bring you guys the absolute best information at all times and keep everybody safe. And then remind y'all that it is best if we stop with the divide and conquer bullshit and work together, because we're going to be seeing this type of stuff for the next 6 years as the gas giants go around. And next year, Saturn and Jupiter will almost be fully aligned, and I expect a lot of wacky hurricanes, earthquakes, volcano eruptions. It's not going to be anything drastic. Like, civilization is not going to end. We just have to adapt, because, you know, these processes have happened throughout the course of history. We just didn't have major populations along all the coasts. And you can basically see that, like, this will be the process that carved out the coast. Like, it's done this mega times. And I want to express how tired I am of the geoengineering people. Like, I literally months ago said we will be seeing some type of a hurricane at record strength, and that at some point it would be up near New York. And so it looks like it'll be up near New York on the 10th of the Neptune opposition I called. And then what should put all doubts to rest is that I'm about 95% chance. I mean, I've been stronger on this prediction than any of them. And that, unfortunately, the bad news is I believe Florida will see another Category 5 hurricane around October 13th, the Eris opposition, somewhere near over Crystal Lakes, Florida. And so, especially if I hit this one, can we please stop with the, like, geoengineering? Like, they're causing all these hurricanes. They're microwaving. You know, it pretty much, it becomes a thing where it's like that person needs it to be about them. So they say it's geoengineering, but it's really about them because they need attention. And the only way they could get attention is by spreading some bullshit lie that, oh, they're controlling all these hurricanes, man. They're not. Newsflash: the sun and the gas giants are big drivers in our weather. It's not all carbon, and it's not all some evil boogeyman. Although, yeah, I do think they are chemtrailing, but as I've told you guys for a long time, it is for solar radiation management, because the sun is bringing us a lot of activity, whether it be from coronal holes, fast solar wind, coronal mass ejections, although we are in a solar minimum right now. And so they're best trying to combat it. You know, like, I don't know. Stop with the crap that has no proof, although it gets a lot of views and gets everybody riled up on YouTube. All right, I've had my say. Everybody stay safe. I love y'all. Stay cool, and I thank y'all for all the love and support. It has been a rough battle the last 2 years, but you guys helped me make it through, and I love and appreciate you for that. Okay, talk to y'all soon. God bless everyone.